Thank you so much for your time today. It is such a pleasure to speak to you. And we get to talk about the fact that you just announced your first studio album in more than a decade. Yes, Wonderland was amazing, but since Shine On in 2014, when did you actually start working on this? Was there something that sparked it, or has it been over a decade of work?
Well, I suppose in some ways it's been over a decade of work. Some of the songs are 13 years old, and songs that didn't make it on my last record. Two of them, one of them, two of them. Yeah. Um, I think I just figured I finally had enough material, good material to work on a record. I also met a fantastic producer, who I really enjoyed working with. And so that was sort of, I guess, the impetus to really move forward on it.
I have to ask, are you willing to tell me what two songs didn't make the last album?
Oh, Better Broken and If This Is the End. So the bookends,
Yeah,
first and last. Yeah.
I didn't
And
read.
they weren't finished songs. They were Better Broken was semi-finished, and If This Is the End was just the guitar part. And I think the bridge was sort of written, and there was a sort of a rough guide vocal, but no lyrics.
I can't believe you've had the song Better Broken for more than a decade. And I know you've said that, it was only a little bit, it wasn't a complete song, but it is a song I think that will be therapeutic for people. It could be an anthem for them. For you as an artist, how are you feeling releasing this and knowing that this is how it will impact so many?
Well, it's therapy for myself too, let's be honest. It's incredibly cathartic for me as a artist, as a person to have this kind of outlet, this kind of emotional outlet where I can pour all that pain and angst into songwriting and into sort of figuring out a way through. It's not like I come up with any great answers or solutions, but it just helps me to process and feel a little bit better about things and maybe feel less alone. And honestly, I think that's a lot of what music does for me, and I think for other people, where if you hear something in a piece of music or in a painting or in a movie or in a book or whatever that resonates really strongly with yourself and what you're going through, you're like, oh my God, somebody gets me. I don't feel so alone. So it is therapy for me. And I think if it's therapeutic for others, then I've kind of done my job.
Well, it's been 10 years since Shine On, your last non-holiday studio album. A lot has changed in this music industry, but you've been busy touring, you've been getting awards, you've been helping so many with your school of music. But has your relationship with the music industry changed at all in that time?
I've been extremely lucky in my career that I've been sort of able to pick and choose how and when I work, which has been a great luxury. And, I think I'm fully aware of being out of the game for a long time. It's going to take a lot of work to get back in. And these days in particular, because there's just so much music happening all the time, um, trying to figure out how to rise above the noise and get heard. It's interesting. It's like I plan to work hard to promote the record, but you know, I used to go out for like 9 months or a year and just do promotion and then go do a 2-year tour. And I don't see myself doing that anymore. I think so much of it lives now in social media and creating content along the way, which I tried to do, but it's, feeding that beast all the time is, it's not something that I think about on my day-to-day world. So I've had to sort of, remind myself and be reminded constantly to film stuff and create content. And everybody wants to see and hear what's going on. I'm like, oh, can't I just have my coffee in peace? But
I don't want to post about it. I just want to enjoy it. And I'm with you with this.
like nobody wants to know that, but I guess apparently they do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, I think I'm excited about getting the record out there. I'm excited about playing the songs. Um, and I recognize that, the other stuff that comes along with it is just it's part of it. It's part of putting it out there so people hear it.
Well, it's like, yeah, it may have been 10 years since the last studio album that wasn't a holiday album, but it's not like you haven't been doing stuff. You've been touring, you've been getting all the awards, you've been doing so much. But you have a tour coming up this fall, which I know is the postponed one from last year because you had laryngitis. And if I've been lucky enough to speak to you or see you in concert or know anyone that has, we always talk about how joyful you are. You're hilarious. You show such empathy, but I've never ever heard the word fear. So I'm curious, when you get laryngitis, is that an emotion that kind of went over you at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean, I lost my voice in after the first show. I got some wicked virus, and was out for about 2 months with no voice. So I had to cancel the whole tour, obviously, and did damage. I had done damage on the first tour because I blew my voice out right at the beginning. I just pushed through and sang and sang and sang and took steroids the whole tour to get through it, but I did damage. And I took the summer off thinking that would do it, would fix it, and it didn't. And then I went into the next tour and also got a virus too. So it was a bit of a perfect storm. But so I went on vocal rest for about 3 months, and then just slowly started talking and singing again. And but for most of the winter, I wasn't sure whether or not I would actually be able to sing again. Like I could sing, but I lost a big chunk of my register right in the middle, which is actually where my personality sits, that sort of push between my chest voice and my head voice. Um, and I couldn't do it. I didn't have any control. So for me, I mean, I'm very lucky. I feel like I have a lot of purposes in this life, but singing is a huge one, and it's very defining for me. So yeah, I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to continue to do that, which was a real bummer too, because I had already built most of the record before this happened. So I had all the vocals done. So I'm like, am I going to be even going to be able to sing this record? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to promote it, but um, I'm back and my voice is healed up, and I think I don't know if it's stronger, but it's different. I've had to do some workarounds, but it's it's really good. It's really good and solid now again. So I'm so grateful for that.